You are listening to the Enormocast.
Hey folks, the word Enormo has long been used by Enormocast listeners to get great coffee from Defiant Bean and now bonfirecoffee.com. But now the magic word is going to make you not only more alert, but stronger and therefore more attractive. How does this work? Is simply screaming it at the crux enough? Perhaps, but more indirectly, but effectively, you can now use Enormo to get a discount on pure climbing holds. Yes, it's time to build that woody and start training, you slug. Go to pureholds.com, purholds.com, and enter Enormo at checkout for 10% off your purchase. And while you're there, check out the Enormo hold. It makes a great Father's Day gift.
We gotta get
Listen, where you playing in town? You playing here?
We're doing the Enormo Dome, whatever it is. It's terrific.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a
big
house. We
place
sold it
outside
out.
of town. That's a
Very
big
nice.
place. You sold it out.
20,000
We really should.
Look, you better get up there before he panics. Those pens are loose. You're very good. I have really enjoyed climbing with you. We'll make it. I don't think so. But we shall continue with style. Good weather, bad weather. Now or later, anytime for climbing.
Today's show is brought to you by Black Diamond Equipment, with support from Maxim Ropes.
And Defiant Bean is now Bonfire Coffee. How did that happen? Don't worry about it. Jeff is still roasting delicious coffee that will delight your taste buds and will make you feel, smell, and seem more sophisticated. Go to bonfirecoffee.com and enter Enormo at checkout for a discount.
And now back to the show.
Hello and welcome to the Enormocast. This is your host, Chris Kalous. It is May 14th. That's 514 day here at the Enormocast. The day that I think about how cool it would be to climb 514. Not the day that I actually ever will do it. Who knows? Maybe. But if I do it, it'll probably be in the fall. I think it'll be in the fall after climbing well all summer long. Not in the spring. Not coming off the winter. But anyhow. Where were we? Oh, yeah. It's 10:51 Mountain Standard Time. This is episode 50. God, I'm losing track. Hold on a second. All right. I went to the website and double-checked. This is episode 57. Yeah. Losing track, man. That's good. It's a lot of episodes. I used to just, have every single one memorized, but, man, I can't even remember who I've talked to on this show. So this show is a little bit of an experiment. It is a series of 4 short interviews that I did at the Redrock Renedezvous in the Black Diamond booth. Black Diamond was nice enough to give that over to me. It's 4 short interviews with 4 different climbers. So those of you with short attention spans, this one's for you. They're all fun little conversations. We've got rock climber Nik Berry. We've got our friend Kate Rutherford, who has been on the show before, and Don Glantz, who's a guide out of Ouray, Colorado, and Chris Shulte, who's a boulderer, kind of from Durango, lives out in the Front Range now. The cool thing about Chris is he's come back and recorded a full interview, so this is a little taster for the next episode, which will be a full interview with Chris Shulte. He's a really interesting guy, kind of an old-school boulderer, and he came through town for the 5 Point Film Fest, and I got him in here, so that's going to be coming up next after this one. And while we're talking about the Redrock Renedezvous, while I was at the Redrock Renedezvous, I also did a live show from the stage, which maybe some of you saw, and I meant to record it and put it out as a podcast, but I blew it. I blew the recording. Didn't come out so well for a couple different reasons, including just a pure malfunction, but also pilot error, which is what I get for not having a producer and trying to do everything myself. I finally blew one. But it happens. It's happened to Mark Maron. He's admitted it on air. I'm sure it's happened to Ira Glass, but he would never admit it. Anyway, so that thing has been lost into the ether, and I do apologize for that because some of you have been waiting for it. And also I want to apologize to my great guests who are on. My friend Andreas Marin, Elena Arenz from the New River Gorge was on, and Micah Burhart. But all those folks, I'm sure, will be back on the show down the line because they were fantastic. And if you were there, you saw it. But I guess it's like sidewalk chalk art, you know? Once it rains, it's gone. And only those that walked by happen to get to enjoy it. Anyhow, it happens. That's what goes on with this technical stuff. Hopefully it'll never happen again. And I think I've got it beat. So we'll also do a little bit more backup, I think, in the future. All right. Another big announcement here at the Enormocast is that we have a new sponsor, Pure Climbing Holds. That's PUR Climbing Holds out of Grand Junction, Colorado. Got in touch with me quite a while ago, actually. We've been working on this for a while, and wanted to advertise on the show, and I think it's a good fit. I mean, this is a show about climbing. They make climbing holds, right? Anyhow, if you guys are getting stoked to train, if you want to finally build that woody, or if you want to contribute something to your friend's woody that you're always going over and using, you know, for free because he's your bro. Anyhow, buy him a set of holds. It's a good idea. And if you go to pureholds.com, type in PURHOLDS.com, I think it comes up as Shop Pure Holds after that, but I don't quite understand that part of it. But anyway, pureholds.com will get you there, and enter Enormo at checkout, and you'll get a discount on climbing holds. And the Enormocast will see a little bit also, and we're going to put a little package together that includes the Enormo hold down the line here. But if you want to buy an Enormo hold, I'm sure they'll sell you one, so get in touch with them. Anyway, really happy about that. I think it's a real good fit and goes with our other Enormo discount sponsor at Bonfire Coffee. So the word Enormo is becoming extremely powerful. And while we're on the subject, supporting our sponsors is one way to support the Enormocast. Another way you can do that is get in touch with me, send me a note, tell me what you think of the show. You can go over to enormocast.com and click on the Help Out tab. There's a bunch of ways to help out the show up there if you're interested. You can also buy a t-shirt. Click over to the website again and click on the t-shirt banner. And hopefully these partnerships with the sponsors will help me bring some more fans on board and grow this little community that we've got. All right, then. On to the show, the Variety Pack. I had a lot of fun recording these. It was at the Redrock Renedezvous while the event was happening. I believe during a couple, the dyno comp is going on in the background. Music, folks stopping by the booth. So it's pretty hectic, but a lot of fun. And the experiment worked okay with this one. So hope you enjoy a few short conversations with some great climbers here on the Enormocast.
Nik Berry.
So, Nik Berry, you are a Salt Lake climber.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Salt Lake. Started climbing a little later, but yeah, I'm definitely.
What do you mean
Salt
by a
Lake
little
climber.
later?
I was into like wrestling and running cross country and wearing short shorts and running in circles around the track a lot. And then I got just like super burnt out from running and needed something else besides snowboarding to kind of like fill the season, you know?
Totally.
And then,
So how did you end up figuring out how climbing was going to be your thing?
just like randomly, some buddies kind of like had some shoes and chalk bag and like were like, oh, you should come bouldering with us in Little Cottonwood. So I went out. And,
How old were you?
19, I think. Maybe just before I turned 19.
And how old are you now?
I'm 27.
27. So 8 years ago you started climbing.
Uh-huh.
And it, like, were you hooked to begin with or what?
Oh, yeah, fully.
Fully.
Yeah, I was fully on board from day one.
So are you that kind of guy that, like, locks in and just totally just decides that this is going to be my thing now?
Yeah, I'm pretty, like, focused person. So, like, once I'm psyched on something, I'm, like, fucking all into that. Yeah, I just, like, focus on that, and that's my thing for sure.
So let me ask you this. Your mom's legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Mama
actually,
Berry.
Yeah, Mama Berry is kind of legendary among some of our mutual friends. So tell me about your mom.
So my mom, she's just like an amazingly like super caring, awesome lady. Really happy to like meet all my friends, have them over. She's an amazing cook, so she's super into just like, you know, like cooking my friends food, making them lunch, doing whatever, and like She just loves company and like meeting new people. So
right, yeah, because that's the word on the street is that she takes care of the climbers out there a little bit. And our friend James Lucas in particular is quite enamored with your mom.
Yeah,
so,
he should be.
Yeah,
my mom's been
right?
particularly good to him. Yeah.
So you're in school for nursing.
Yeah.
How long you been at that?
With an M.
Nursing?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
A male nurse.
Oh, right. The nurse. Very hot.
Yeah.
How long you been at that?
Well, my first degree was in marketing, so I had to go back and fulfill all my. There's like 10 prereqs you had to do to get into the program, so I had to go and get 9 of those. The only one that counted that I previously had was economics. So I went and did all those, and that took like a year and a half. And I didn't get into nursing school the first time and then reapplied. And so now I've been in it. This is my 3rd semester, and I'll be done at the beginning of August.
And so does this, is nursing something that you were like totally into, or is it something that you're into, but it also happens to maybe have a good climbing schedule kind of set up? Or how are you inspired to do this sort of thing?
I got into it from because of the latter half of that. And then, but once I started taking classes, I really enjoyed the science, and then I started doing a little bit of CNA work, which is Certified Nursing Assistant, and I really enjoyed that. Just dealing and helping with people, it's pretty rewarding and amazing experience. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So let's get to the climbing. What have you been climbing lately?
So since I've been in school, I've been more local for sure, and just been raging when I can on breaks and stuff. Over December, me and Joe Kindkid went out and got owned on Zodiac.
Oh, right. I saw the Instagram pictures
which
about
is
that.
An amazing pitch, really proud route, really hard, most technical footwork probably I've ever had to do.
Right.
Learned a lot about, it was the first time I really failed or felt failure as, on El Cap and as a rock climber.
Right.
So it was just a huge learning experience, and I felt like it was major and just, gaining a lot of knowledge about my own rock climbing.
Well, that thing's nails hard, right?
Oh, yeah. There's, for 13D, it's, pretty fucked up hard. It's nails, definitely.
And who's freed that thing besides the Hubers?
The Hubers and Tommy.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So you're kind of up against it.
Yeah. Yeah, getting on that list is definitely a proud achievement,
right. So did you guys top out?
Oh, we never even went from the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just went sport rappelling into it.
Right on.
Worked on the pitches, and then we were both just not doing hot, and we stopped having any sort of progress.
Right.
And so we were just fuck this. We're not psyched. He was psyched on hanging out with his girlfriend. I had a new woman interest that I wanted to get back to, and yeah.
Yeah, the bane of many a project.
Yeah, exactly.
As our mutual friend Hayden says, you know what? They really smell nice.
Yeah.
And after being on a wall, it's forget that. Oh yeah, you don't smell good. There's this person waiting for me in the valley that does smell good.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, pizza.
No, that thing looks brutal. It's just the whole granite climbing thing and just the intricacy of it is incredible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but then after that, I came out here for spring break and got on this thing on the Buffalo Wall called Crystal Dawn.
Right, I saw that too on your Instagram thing.
And it's amazing. It's this just incredible rock, typical that beautiful iron varnished rock that you get at Redrocks, and just climbs incredibly. Yeah, just it's incredible 13C multi-pitch 1,100 foot wall out here.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't climbed here until this last February. I hadn't really climbed in the canyons in more than a decade.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool that there's these new wave hard routes up here. Because I think this place is really known for pretty moderate big routes.
Oh, certainly.
With 511 and a little bit of 512 kind of topping it out. At least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But now there's just a bunch of stuff that's hard and actually. some things going up still, from what I understand.
Yeah, like underground development.
Yeah, underground because of the bolting issue.
Yeah.
Is what I understand,
But yeah, it's it's deservingly gets the moderate reputation just because the moderates are so amazing. But the hard climbing is equally as good. It's just it's usually really technical, kind of almost like granite-esque climbing, which is really neat.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it feels like. You don't have anything to play with other than those two holds.
Oh yeah,
it's glass smooth in between,
and the world's most heinous feet to smear on.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're gonna finish this up because I want to do these little quick interviews, but I've got. I want to put you on the hanging belay.
All right.
And the hanging belay is just this: is I want you to answer these questions as quickly and as whatever comes to mind.
Cool.
Don't think about it. Don't think about what I ought to say, but try to think about what comes to mind the first. And the faster you answer them, the quicker you're off the hanging belay.
Okay. My legs are going numb in the swami right now.
Exactly. And you're just you're looking up at your partner and you're trying to be encouraging to the guy, hey man, you're doing great. But in your mind, you're just what is wrong with this guy?
Move, damn it.
Good job. Yeah, I know. It's probably really hard. God, what is wrong with this? We've always been down. All of us have been down that road. All right.
Yeah.
Best climbing area in the world.
Best climbing area in the world is Yosemite, for sure.
Best route in the world that you've done.
Best route in the world is... God.
No one's going to hold you to this, man. This isn't a lawyer kind of thing. What came to mind? What's one that just jumped into your head?
It's just so hard, Chris.
I'm going to have to edit this out, dude. Your legs are going numb.
My legs... maybe Moonlight.
Moonlight Buttress, got it. Best climber in the world.
Tommy Caldwell.
Sexiest climber in the world.
Tommy Caldwell.
Excellent answer. Have you ever cried on a route?
No.
All right, we'll move on from that. Which route do you wish you had climbed first?
Before what?
You did the FA. Which historical route do you wish you had done the FA of?
The nose.
Will you ever do 8A in the Shrimp Shrine?
Yes, that's a lifelong goal. Will be done, period.
All right, thanks, Nick. Thanks for coming over. We'll do a full interview in a couple months.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be psyched.
Chris Shulte.
All right, so I'm sitting in the Black Diamond booth here at the Redrock Rendezvous with boulderer, climber extraordinaire, Chris Shulte. Chris, how's it going?
Man, A-okay. I'm a little torched. We had some wind today. We had some sun. I'm not exactly built for the desert, even though it's, kind of my favorite place to be. But yeah, just a little torched. We had a really good session today. We had a really good couple of groups. The format this year was really cool. We broke it down into 2 half-day clinics, which is nice because most of the folks that come here, about 2 o'clock, they're done. They are done for. So this year it was kind of nice to do a little changeover. We got to cover a little bit more ground, I feel like.
So you were doing bouldering clinics.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Who can boulder all damn day?
Well,
most people can't do that, can they?
I guess it really depends. Where I live, it's such a long walk to go bouldering.
Right.
You drag up there at dawn. And,
Where do you live?
So I live in Boulder, Colorado right now, like everybody else. Most of the time I climb at Mount Evans, I suppose. But I try to travel a lot, as much as I can anyways. The Front Range is kind of a funky place, so I like to get back out into the real world as much as I can.
So, people know you as a boulderer. Are you at all an all-around climber? I mean, how did you get into climbing in general?
So I didn't exactly start as a boulder at all, really.
Right.
I moved to Durango, Colorado from Texas, nowhere Texas, 800 people Texas. And
are you going to give a shout-out or to your town?
Bandera, Texas, people. Cowboy capital of the world.
We might have a listener down there.
Cowboy capital of the world.
All right, go.
Remember it. So I grew up there, and I've got some family in Colorado. I've been coming up here since I was 2 weeks old, and so I started climbing in Durango. I lived just a few blocks away from some real serious legends like Jared Ogden and Ken and Harvey, Topher Donahue, like all those guys were locals at the time, and I was really lucky to be able to climb with them as a developing climber. So my idols back in the day were all alpine climbers. Did a lot of mixed climbing, did a lot of ice climbing, started going to the creek. It's sort of just pared down over time, like lots and lots of ice mix, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden I'm trad climbing, all of a sudden I'm creek climbing, which, it's sport cracking. It's not really trad climbing.
Right, of course.
Lots of penitente, and then all of a sudden I was bouldering all the time. I wanted to climb more than I had partners, I guess.
Right.
And also, the most important part, like, there's so many boulders in Durango. It's a really empty kind of. It's an under the radar place. It's isolated. It's an outpost, kind of like Moab.
Right.
So for me, it was the mid '90s or something. Bouldering was kind of just sort of getting cool, anyways. But there's a ton of undeveloped rock down there, there was. I lived there for like 15 years.
Right.
So I just got lucky. I got to pick plums forever. So I guess I became a boulderer. Yeah. But yeah, it's what I've been doing. I wouldn't. I'll say I have an all-around background, but I'm not quite an all-around climber.
Right.
However, the coolest thing about climbing, you get tired of one time, you can do another.
Right.
And kind of the pendulum's starting to swing back the other way.
How old are you?
36.
You had to think about it for a little while.
Well, I'm getting older.
It doesn't matter. I don't care how old I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Well, I'm just curious because, as we grow older, obviously performance changes and things sort of change within our minds and bodies. So
for sure,
I don't know if that's affecting anything. But
so basically, man, I'm getting injured more often.
Right.
I blew up my shoulder early this last summer. I came back. You think about this stuff as you get older. You're like, oh man, is the clock ticking or what? This last winter, I had the best trip I've ever had in my life. I climbed harder than I ever have before. Right. I came back home and promptly tore my labrum in 2 places and tore my infraspinatus tendon, partial thickness tear. Found out I had some tenonesis, some bone spurs, some frayed tendons in my biceps longus, all this stuff,
Right.
And
like wear and tear, essentially, from
totally because I'm
trying hard.
Man, I'm a terrible rester, and I climb what I enjoy, which is compression and arrests and stuff. And you do the same stuff, and it wears on you, And I'm bad at resting, Right. The longest time I ever took off in my life was maybe 2 weeks. So, I ended up with 4 months off. I kind of freaked out. I didn't know if I was going to be a climber anymore. Started riding bikes again. Finally, eventually, I slowly started to come back. I went down to Durango. I rode bikes. That's where it's at down there. It's great bike riding. And just slowly started to come back to climbing. I had a few PTs tell me, you'll be okay. Just do the work.
Right.
And it seems like it's coming back. So, yeah, you always think, like, oh, I'm 30, whatever. I'm however old, Right. I don't know. I think to, like, back in the day, if you were a martial artist, you weren't good. You weren't a master until you were, like, 50. Like, don't mess with a 50-year-old guy,
Right.
So I hope to think of it like that, Right. And I think of people like Joe Monchaussee. He did his first V11 when he was 62, and then he did another one the next year,
Okay.
So, if you're thinking of it as your life, then maybe you plan differently or something like that. But hopefully I'm in it for the long haul.
All right, so my last question, and then we'll get to the finish, is I was wondering, you were just in Indian Creek. I saw some of your media. I saw the Instagram posts. And essentially you were bouldering down there, not crack climbing, which, to a guy like me that's been climbing down there forever. And also I got a listener who emailed me and said, you got to ask that guy, like, why he's down there. He's not climbing spitters. What did he say? He's he's squeezing refrigerators.
Yeah,
is what he said.
Yeah.
What was going on down there? You're like out there finding boulders, and sub question is, do you know Lisa Hathaway?
Oh yeah,
okay,
definitely. Yeah, I was really pumped to hook up with Lisa, but, basically she had a whole bunch of friends that were coming into town, and it was kind of hard to get her down here. Scheduling stuff, basically.
Right.
But for me, coming up as a climber in Durango, I mean, the creek's only 2 hours away. It was my first climbing trip ever. When I first started climbing there, I mean, I had like a little Colorado rack of singles, you know, so we went and we did like all 4 climbs you can do there with a rack of singles, a split pillar and some blue grama and Benus crack and stuff. And then after that, we were kind of like, well, what do we do? I guess this was probably 99 or something like that. So we bouldered, you know, we played around in Fringe of Death, we did the split boulder, so on and so forth. And this whole time I'm seeing these things thinking like, wow, I mean, it would be, you know, cool to climb that, thinking I would never be able to do it. The rock's too soft. Maybe I'll break something at 20 feet and cripple myself. I don't know. Whatever. These things are hard. There's no holds. For some reason, after coming back intermittently over the years, this year after the trade show, I drove down there kind of incrementally, thinking I'll go to Joe's, thinking I'll go to Moab. Well, hey, I'm only like an hour from the creek now. Serendipity strikes. My buddy calls me up from Durango and says, hey, I just wanted to get some beta on the boulders that are in Indian Creek you've told us about. We're heading that way. Man, I'm driving there now. So basically what we did, we wrapped, we cleaned, we put in the work. You know, we brought pads and just started trying things. I don't know, maybe I'm stronger, maybe I'm smarter, maybe I don't really care about volunteer. I don't whatever it was, a combination of stuff, like got to do almost everything I'd ever looked at over this like 20 years of climbing. It was amazing. It was like the coolest trip. Right now, Indian Creek bouldering is my favorite bouldering in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm blown away by it. The shapes, the technique required. I really feel like it's going to be something kind of cool. I want to give like nods to people like Ethan Pringle and Dean Potter who have done. You know, they've actually put some time and done some bouldering out there. Eric DeCaria and so on and so forth. Lisa,
yeah.
You know, they didn't tell anybody about it, but Cedar Wright, who said, you know, hey, the lines between the cracks and all that stuff, half shark, alligator man, and all of that is really important. All of it's really inspirational. And basically, you go out there and you start climbing on this rock in a way that's not just following the weaknesses. You're climbing the strengths, basically. I feel like it's going to maybe change the climbing in the creek somewhat, but man, it was so quality. And I was there in the dead of winter. I just had an amazing time. Unbelievably quiet. For a week during a snowstorm, I was the only human there. Other than, you know, Heidi Red. Exactly. Basically.
Yeah, and some cows.
But the quiet,
cowboys.
you know, really cleaned me out. On the last day, I listened to a lizard eat a dried fly. Like crunching like chips in a movie theater, you know, and I was 12 feet away from this lizard, man.
You're just like, I'm on
totally. But blackbirds sound like jets. And, oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Cool. Well, I want you to come back on the show. We talked about maybe getting together at 5 Point and talk a little bit more about that. But I'm gonna let you go now. But I'm gonna hit you with. I was calling it with the other guys as the hanging belay. Because I want you to answer these questions as fast as you can.
All right.
Not overthink them.
There we go.
Whatever comes to your mind.
Shooting from the hip.
But for you, I'm going to call it the highball exit. Okay. The quicker you answer, the faster you top out.
Shit. All right. Here we go.
So, here we go. Don't overthink them. Best climbing area in the world.
Fontainebleau.
I knew you'd say that.
Well, everybody knew that.
That's awesome.
Everybody knew that one.
Best boulder problem in the world.
Airwolf, also called just the Wolf. You might see it on an upcoming BD Journal video.
Okay.
30-foot high ball. Man, it's a wolf's head. You compress a refrigerator wolf's head.
Right on.
I mean, dude, you can't beat it.
Best climber in the world.
It's going to be Adam Ondra.
All right.
Yeah, it's incontrovertible. You can't argue.
Sexiest climber in the world. And you can't say Adam Ondra.
That would be my sweet lady, Jackie Heffley.
Nice work. And that came right to your head. I'll say that he did not have to think about that. Good one. All right. I guess we'll go with boulder problem. What boulder problem do you wish you had climbed first, done the first ascent of?
Karma and Font. Yeah. But, you know, hey, props to Fred. I mean, I don't really have many climbing heroes, and yeah, Fred's one, and that is a boulder problem. That was my first life list boulder problem. Like when whatever dude hammered it, I was crushed. When it went again, I was like, oh my God! I'll never forget the day that I did it. It was, what an incredible, perfect problem. Like in a perfect place. Yeah, that'd be just fine. That'd be the one.
All right, thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you in a couple months. Anyway,
good times. Good times.
Kate Rutherford.
All right, so I'm sitting in the Black Diamond booth at the Redrock Renedezvous with Kate Rutherford, who's come back to the Enormocast.
Hey, Chris. So nice to see you again.
After like 2 years, I think, that you were here last, or almost 2 years ago. Actually, coming up in July, it'll be 2 years. So your episode was in the teens somewhere.
Oh, I feel so special.
And that's back when I had to beg people to do this.
You begged.
I did.
Yeah.
I begged.
You had to buy me coffee.
Yep. I had to make you coffee, and then you had to sweat it out in the mobile studio up in Lander.
How's the mobile studio doing?
It's doing great, actually.
Yeah, still rocking it?
Yeah, it's still running. It's actually running right now as good as it ever has, frankly.
Wow.
So
how'd that come to fruition?
I finally got caught up on things that were falling apart. You know, it's just like I'm in this equilibrium at the moment where it's like somewhat ready to go. I think for a while. I mean, the thing is, it was born in 1981. Just like
me.
Yeah, just like you, right?
Indeed.
Right, so you're doing.
So you got to take care of, your ladies.
Yeah, he's doing well. So I wanted to actually ask you about the amount of Enormo love that you've gotten over the last year from our fantastic listeners.
Oh man, I feel like such a lucky girl. I get every other week. I probably get an email about jewelry or many other things saying, hey, I saw you on the Enormocast. I was so inspired. I love what you do, and can I support you and buy some jewelry or whatever? So the Suspended Stone Designs have definitely taken a big uppity up, kick in the pants.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Because of the Enormocast. It's really cool. I'm pretty impressed, Chris.
Really?
You've been pulling it off. Yeah, it's
see,
really neat.
A lot of people don't have a direct way in which people can then connect with them the way you do, and I appreciate that that the listeners stepped up and were like, well, I wouldn't just give her something, money or whatever, but I can support her by buying some jewelry for my girl or whatever, and I'm pretty impressed actually that the folks have stepped up out there.
Well, it's a neat breadth of audience that you have, it's not just like some random climber dude. Like there's all sorts of different people that actually listen to these, and get inspired and really don't have anything better to do but listen to the Enormocast and can't go climbing at that moment.
Right.
I think it reaches a nice audience.
That's the sweet spot. Are people who they're either stuck in their car, they're stuck on a commute, or they're stuck in an office and they can't go climbing.
Oh, it's nice that you can provide them this service.
Yeah, totally. So let me ask you this. So what have you been climbing?
I just came from Bishop, which was super fun. I had 7 days of Brittany. Brittany Griffiths has done one of these Enormocasts too. And the 7 days of Kate and Brittany was pretty intense. We bouldered, we sport climbed, we ice climbed, we did multi-pitch climbs, we went alpine climbing, we bouldered some more, we went hot tubbing, we drank a lot. It was totally overwhelming. So I'm pretty tired. I just came off of that, and I'm psyched to be here in Vegas. Super fun clinics today. And then before that, I was in Turkey, which was really like the funnest sport climbing trip I've ever had. I had no idea Turkey had so much to offer. It was totally epic, and I learned a little bit about tufa climbing. And
where did you go specifically?
We went to Gekbare, which is sort of the standard sport climbing zone around
there. We're getting
bombed. And basically you fly into Antalya and get in a car and get driven up into the hills, and you kind of just base camp up there. Hayden Kennedy told me how to do it. He was like, paving the way, and it's super easy and relaxing, and you just walk to the crag every day, and you can walk to the market, and they'll feed you if you want, and it's super easy. It's good living.
Well, I tried to go there one time, and we were in Kolymnos, and basically our plan was to climb there and then move on. But once we were set up there, it was really hard to pack everything up and then get on another ferry and then get on a bus because
sure.
we would have ended up way up on that coast and we'd have had to kind of travel. Yeah, so we didn't make it. But I definitely have always wanted to go there, and I think that like Turkey, there's got to be just miles and miles of rock there. It's a huge
out of control.
Country.
It's huge, and there's so much rock, and there's really high mountains there.
Right.
They're all snowy. Like
right.
I had no idea. There's ski resorts all over the place.
Right.
We flew over on a sunny day, and there's just epic, endless mountains, and I think a lot of it is limestone that's very climbable, and you just gotta go with the right season.
I think that it's kind of an untapped thing, although I bet you the Frenchies have been there. They always seem to get everywhere
Euros
first.
are in there for sure.
They always seem to get everywhere first, but still, it kind of feels like, because it's outside of the Eurozone, but right on the edge of it, it's probably got a lot of potential left.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can back this up, but everybody I've talked to said that people are awesome.
Really nice people, just so easy to be around, really
Right.
excitable, like loving, generous, good food, which kind of goes a long way.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Did you go to Istanbul?
Man, just really beautiful. But one of the most amazing things was their use of the limestone and all that rock in that region for art purposes. Those cathedrals are giant, and they butterfly these pieces of marble with these zigzag zebra stripes, and they all line up in perfect little angles, and it's like a painting on the wall,
Right.
and it's just polished marble, super spectacular. And these buildings are gigantic. It's as big as El Cap or something. Well, maybe not, but they're
huge.
so big. You feel like an ant when you're
Right.
in them, and then they're just polished and worn in this way that you can't do besides just walk on it for centuries.
Centuries,
it's so neat and powerful,
Right.
and that kind of awe that is inspired by being in the big mountains.
Right.
It's like you're being standing on top of Fitzroy or something. It's that awesome. So anyway, that was super fun and different for me.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go there because I actually have this super obsession with the Roman Empire.
The shopping's really good too.
Yeah. And that was actually the seat of the Roman Empire towards the end of the empire. So I need to go there and check it out.
Let's go back. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm
super
totally
fun.
in. All right, so we're about out of time already because these are just short hit interviews.
Sad.
Do you want to talk about something else?
Whatever you like.
I know you have to go to dinner.
I know, I'm really hungry.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to hit you with the hanging belay. Okay, the hanging belay is I want you to answer these questions. Don't overthink them. Whatever
Rapid
comes
fire.
to mind.
All right.
The faster you answer the questions, the quicker
faster
you're
I
off
can go
the
to
hanging
dinner.
belay. Okay.
Okay. I'm
Typical
in.
hanging belay. Your legs are getting numb. Your partner's taking way too long. You're cold. You can't move.
Hangry.
All right. You're hangry. Yeah. Don't be hangry. Okay. Number 1, best climbing area in the world.
Yosemite National Park.
All right. That's the second time I've heard that tonight.
Sorry.
Best route in the world.
Moonlight Buttress.
That's the second one of those tonight, too. All right. Best climber in the world.
Hayden Kennedy.
Ooh, nice.
Sorry, Hayden.
This can't be the same person. You have to think of somebody else. Sexiest climber in the world. Male or female?
Brittany Griffith.
Ooh. She might be on my list, too, quite frankly.
I think
even
her
though I'm quite
attitude
good
is
friends
the
with her
sexiest
husband. Have you ever cried on a route?
Yes.
When was the
Yesterday.
I was going to say, when was the last time you cried on a route?
I was still on the ground.
What?
I got kicked in the forehead yesterday
All
on
right.
the ground. Does that count?
Yeah, it does count. And I know you're supposed to answer these quickly, but now we have to digress. So you got kicked in the head?
I did.
Oh, how'd that happen? Somebody swing off a route or something?
My partner was all tied in, and I was bending down to pick up the rope to put in the gree-gree, and they stepped off the ground at the same time and accidentally kicked me in the head.
And it was hard
with
enough
their
to make
heel.
you cry.
It made me cry. I was kind of having a rough day already. It was the last straw.
All right, what route?
It really hurt.
What route in the world do you wish you'd done the first ascent of? What historical climb do you wish you had done the first ascent?
The Salafé.
All right. All right, well, thanks a lot, Kate Rutherford.
That was so easy.
That was pretty easy.
I'm so off the hook.
You're also always welcome. Come back on the show for another full interview and update of your life.
I'll need to get some new material so
Yeah.
that, we actually have something to talk about next time.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kate.
Thanks, Chris.
Dawn Glance.
All right, I'm sitting in the Black Diamond booth.
Go ahead, start again.
I'm sitting in the Black Diamond booth. I am sitting in the Black Diamond. This
You
is
are.
the fourth one I've done, so I'm sitting in the Black
All right,
Diamond booth.
Warm it up. Hold on.
It's fine. I'm going to cut it all out. Or maybe I'm not.
Breathe it out. Shake it out.
How is there a silent E?
Look, I didn't pick it. All right?
What's the
it's
nationality?
the birth name. It's originally this is what I'm told. Originally it should be Glantz. But somewhere along the way, somebody didn't know how to spell.
Okay.
Right? So somewhere along the way, it becomes a C.
Right.
And they still pronounce it like the TZ.
So
I don't
Dawn
get
Glantz.
it. I know. I didn't pick it. But then when I got married.
What nationality is it?
It's like a German-Polish thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so, who knows. There's tons
Right.
of jokes I'm sure you can make that
Right.
way. But then when I got married, I didn't change it.
Okay.
So I just stuck with it because that was my name.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't want to become Dawn Ormond. It's not the same.
Yeah. Ormond's a little easier, though.
Yeah, but
You'd come to...
but I'm
to
Dawn
live and love it.
Glantz.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And
Yeah,
I'm Chris
lame.
Kalous, so I've gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
We used to have an ick on it, apparently, but then they dropped the ick. So it's sort of the same thing. Somewhere along the immigration trail, they left the ick in the dirt.
That's probably a
Yeah,
good
Kalous
choice.
ick. And it's like Slavic or something, but everybody thinks it's French, sounds French, looks Greek, is neither. So, and most people think it's Klaus.
Mhm.
So there you go, and
There
that
you have
sounds
it.
German. So
There you
anyway,
have it.
here we are.
Thanks
That's
for
our
having
intro.
me.
We're in the Black Diamond booth at the Redrock Rendezvous. This is sweet short interview number 4.
Awesome.
Thanks for checking us out over here.
Yeah, you bet.
And I was really astounded to realize that, Dawn, you'd never heard of the Enormocast before tonight.
I know I'm a political junkie, so when I listen to podcasts, it's usually something political.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your jam?
Well, music jam, that's a whole other story.
No,
but
what's your political jam? What's your political podcast jam?
I'm a big follower of the Rachel Maddow show,
Right.
and then definitely when I can, I watch a lot of Jon Stewart, of course.
right.
So yeah, who
Okay.
doesn't, right? And then NPR.
Right.
So I'm your standard.
Yeah, that's how
your
people.
standard person.
That's a good NPR is like your podcast taster. Like that's
Right.
how people get in.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting, huh? I always thought This American Life needs to pick us up as a climbing life. I think that is something that they are missing. Is that? you
Yeah,
know?
well, that's my jam.
Right on.
That's the
sweet.
Enormocast. Yeah, so
There you
welcome
are.
to it.
All right.
And please promise me you'll go and at least have a quick listen to.
I will.
something like
Yeah.
that. All right. Sounds
yeah.
good.
At least
sounds
this
good.
one.
All right. So yeah, at least this one. I love the sound of my own voice. I'll spit on repeat. Anyway.
Whatever.
That's what I do.
I didn't, those
the
are
only
your
reason
words.
I do this. Wow, I sounded really good on that one. You live down in Uray. You're a guide, a full-time
Yes,
guide.
yes.
And that's what you do.
For a living, yes.
For a living.
Yes. So I teach rock climbing in the summer and canyoning also, which is
Okay.
really fun. It's new to me,
Where
but
do you
it's
do
a
that?
lot of right in Uray. We do these box canyons. We do rappelling basically down through the box canyons in Uray. There's tons of them.
That sounds frigid.
Yeah. No, it's actually we do that in the summer.
I know, but still, isn't the water really cold?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not that deep. So it's
Right.
not like you get in over your head, and it's not that bad.
Do you wear wetsuits?
No, but we wear dry tops at least.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you could take kids that are like 5. It's not that.
Okay.
It's not that extreme. It
All right.
sounds extreme. I like if you make if you make me really explain it that I have to take 5-year-olds, it takes away the extreme
Right,
factor.
exactly.
So
That does sound fun because I don't like cold water.
Right.
That's why I
Yeah.
got that sourpuss look on my
right,
face.
and
that no one
so
could
in the
hear.
winter, I feel like I work more in the winter doing rock and ice or mix or ice climbing, I should say, in the wintertime. So that's my specialty, and so that's what I focus on in
Right.
the winter. So.
And you work with chicks with picks, right?
Yep, and we're a big branch now of chicks climbing because we do rock
Okay.
climbing and ice climbing now, and I work for them year-round. So if you sign up for a clinic, hopefully you'll get me and Kitty as the guides,
Right.
and we do the rock stuff and we do the ice clinics as well.
Well, I have a question that pertains
Give it to
to this idea that I've been wanting to kind of ask a bunch of these questions, but I'm going to stick to this one. Do you approach guiding men differently than guiding women, or vice versa?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I mean, it's a big topic we could go into, but
That is.
just
We
on
could
a
go all
basic
day.
plane, because let me just say this. I'll back up and say that there's organizations that like chicks climbing, chicks for pics, these things that are oriented towards getting women together to climb or to do whatever in the outdoors. Not necessarily for men, because men are already doing it together. So I was just curious, like how your approach, like if there's a way to sum it up philosophically, if it does in fact change at all.
There's a difference, I think, a different bond naturally that's going to happen with me and a woman, right?
Okay.
And that should, in theory. But it doesn't always, right? Because women can be pretty shitty to each other.
Right.
So when I think about it, when it's really the personality types that so that's really, if I were to say just guiding in general, just not given going down the woman path there, which we could definitely, let's do that another time. But guiding, because today I definitely had men and women in my group.
Right.
So, yeah, you have to, I think, address the personality type instead of the gender as a whole.
Sure.
Because some people are really good at getting feedback.
Right.
And some people, they just want, I don't know, maybe just encouragement the whole time. And then if you give them feedback, that's like, forget about it.
Right.
Like, you just touched a button that...
Right.
So that goes for both men and women. But I think that when naturally I think I bond with the women a little bit better. I don't know, maybe just because we're women. But when you get a group of us together, there's a different power that comes out of it. There's a different sense of, not that like she did it, I can do it.
Right.
But instead the sense of why not try it?
Right.
So, and I really try to encourage that in all my clinics, whether I'm working with men or women, is just the fact that why not? You're on the top rope. Just go for it,
Right.
and you don't know what you can do until you try.
Well, and that's why they showed up. I mean, it's not like you forced them to come on these trips, right?
But people climb for different reasons. And typically when you climb, you choose the route you climb, right?
Okay.
And in a clinic, I'm just telling you, tie into this one. So your choice is a little less, you have less of a control factor of that choice, but, they are just on top rope, and a lot of times I'm trying to get them out of their comfort zone in some way.
Right.
And today there was some people I couldn't challenge. They were just too good at climbers.
Really?
The climbs I had up are too easy for them. And in that same group, you have somebody who can't even do the opening move. So what do you do? So you just try to address each person in these clinics and, hopefully make a change, at least teach them one thing, so.
Now, I've always said that to be a guide, you have to have be, the person of infinite patience. Have you, how do you feel about that? And have you? Is that a personality trait that you've had before? I mean, patience is a big part of that whole thing.
Yeah, and I wonder what if I run out of patience one day? Oh my God! Then
You'll have to
my
do
family and
something
my husband is screwed.
Right. I used it all up on them, honey. I've got none left for you.
I think that's what happens because we're both guides.
Right.
So we're both worried. No, I don't know. It does take a lot of patience, but at the same time, each person is so different, and it's fun to work with people.
Right,
it really
right,
is.
totally.
And I just like people. I like working with them, and I think I like more the instruction and coaching side of this job
than more
guiding. The pure guiding, where I'm just like, tie in. I'm dragging you to the top. I don't care really how you climb. I'll haul you.
Sure.
If I have to.
Sure.
I don't like that style. I'd rather get to know you. And,
I actually didn't. I like teaching better as well, which is why I segged out of guiding into becoming a high school teacher. It was kind of part of that. Plus, I thought working with kids was way more fun than adults.
Right, but some adults are just big kids.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to finish up here because we're about at the end of our time.
We just babbled about a whole bunch of nothing.
No, it was a whole bunch of great stuff. Don't sell yourself short, Tom.
All right.
And actually,
I won't. I'm 5'6".
I know.
It's average.
Yeah, we're the same height, me and you.
Get out of town. I click microphones, but I think that was not in the class.
No, you're not supposed to touch microphones. Bad things will happen. But you're always welcome to come on a show,
awesome.
And we'll talk. We can hash out that stuff.
Sick.
People want to hear about it.
All right.
I think it's a big
well,
thing.
Well, maybe one day we'll talk about other stuff.
Yeah. All right. So this is the hanging belay.
Okay.
So you have to
answer
let
me shake out.
Yeah.
Because I got little.
Your legs are numb.
No, my wrist is a little sore from holding that microphone like that.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't want to screw it up. I'm just shaking it out, folks. That's what's going on.
Your legs are going numb. Your partner's taking a really long time.
All right.
You're still encouraging them, but in your mind you're like, what is taking you so long?
Yeah. Have I set up the 3-to-1 yet?
No.
Okay.
No. All right, so here we go.
Okay, go.
Best climbing area in the world.
Best climbing area in the world. We're talking rock or ice. Doesn't matter, huh?
Doesn't matter.
I would say best. Uray. Why not?
Yeah. The Chamber of Commerce is like, cha-ching. Send her a check. All right. Best route in the world. Anything. I don't care what it is. What came to mind?
Best route in the world. The climb I just did in Iceland. Red Eye Jedi. Best route
Red
in the
Eye
world.
Jedi.
Yeah.
First ascent?
Yeah, we did a first ascent there.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
With who?
My friend Stanley Verba. Yeah, we
killer.
did a first ascent over there. It was awesome.
Red Eye Jedi.
Red Eye Jedi.
Nice. Best climber in the world.
Oh, that is a toughie. Nobody, really. The best climber in the world?
Best climber in the world.
Chris Bliss.
Yes. You win. You win the fucking prize. Nice. I'm going to get, I don't know.
By the way, we're at the Redrock Rendezvous, and I can see people like Peter Croft, Andreas Marin.
All those people just
Kay
went to the
Rutherford.
wayside.
Nothing.
Yeah,
on this
exactly.
guy.
Literally, we can see Peter Croft
Literally,
from where
I
we're
can.
sitting.
I could
there
spit
he is.
at him if I could spit
there
better.
There he is. You will be mine, Peter Croft. You will be mine. All right. What else we got here? Who's the... And it can't be the same person because I know you're going to say the same person. Who's the sexiest climber in the world? Sexiest climber
My
in the world.
husband.
All right.
Patrick Orman.
Nice. All right. Have you ever cried on a route?
Yeah.
When was the last time you cried on a route?
Oh, God. That's actually been a while. I can't remember the last time, but I definitely have cried on a route before.
All
definitely. Can't pick one offhand.
What is a first ascent that you wish you had done? A historic first ascent that you wish you'd been the first one to do?
Wow. That's a bull. I don't know. I'm not that jealous of routes that way, so I don't know. I don't really
Well, what's a
have one.
great route that you just wish you'd been the one to walk up and
the
sink your picks into it for the first time?
Well, that's not fair. I mean, I see all these ice lines, and that's the way my brain works. I'm
Right.
an ice
You
climber
are
and a
the
mixed
first one.
climber. So it seems like every year you get the first ascent. So, I guess if you're the first of the season, you're like, hey, first ascent of the season. So I don't know. I'm just gonna, I guess, stay on belay.
You're stuck. You're stuck in the hating belay forever.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Until
I
you
don't
come
have
back on
that.
the show.
I don't
All right,
have
well, I'll
that.
let you off the hook. Your belayer just set off belay. The top
All right.
rope's coming tight. You're
All right,
out of
sweet.
here. So thanks a lot, Don. I really appreciate a few minutes of your time. And again, anytime down the line we could get a long interview, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Don.
Sweet.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Kind of a weird little funky Enormocast. Hope you enjoyed it. As I said earlier, that Chris Shulte bit is a preview for next episode where Chris will talk to us in depth about his life chasing boulders around the world, although they don't really move. He doesn't really have to chase them. I don't know. I was thinking of the wave thing, chasing waves. Waves move. You have to chase them. It's quite tiring, actually. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, I wanted to make sure that you remember that the next thing the Enormocast is involved in is the International Climbers Festival up in Wyoming. It is the 9th to the 13th of July in Lander, Wyoming. One of the great festivals of all time, and also one of the great climbing towns, especially in the summertime. Not a lot of places to climb comfortably in the summer. Although it can get hot there, it is quite pleasant most of the time. So come check that out. Be doing a small live event, just being around, making the scene, and also chasing down prey, as it were. Another chasing motif. Go to climbersfestival.org for more information and to get tickets and all that. They've got an incredible lineup of people coming up there. It would take too long to list them. Just go check it out on the website. All right, folks, I've been skipping this outro lately, and I haven't said this in a while. So please, as the climbing season is getting rolling, at least here in the States, although it's been rolling for a while in some parts, not so much here in Colorado, at least not the rock climbing season. But please, as you dust off those somewhat dormant skills for many of us over the winter, don't forget to check your knot.
I care desperately about what I do. Do I know what product I'm selling? No. Do I know what I'm doing today? No. But I'm here, and I'm going to give it my best shot.